Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Being active and staying active, that's key to aging gracefully. Many people have concerns about staying fit, staying healthy, maintaining muscle mass, not falling victim to sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle mass loss, which is why Active HX may just be the supplement for you. And I want to talk about this and the science behind it in some detail today. I'm Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, and we have this absolutely fabulous formulation called Active HX. This is a powdered formulation of HMB, and HMB is a power nutrient. This is known as beta-hydroxy beta-methylbutyrate. Now that is definitely a mouthful, but when we look at what this actually is and how it's working to optimize our health, this is where all of the fun science comes into play. We know that HMB, we'll just shorten it up to HMB, that this helps to increase and preserve muscle mass in adults. Now, the way that this was originally studied was in highly trained athletes and the resistance trained athletes, where they were looking at their strength and their endurance, and they were looking at their body fat and muscle mass. And they found that HMB was very beneficial to helping to support healthy muscle protein synthesis and really enhancing overall physical activity. And scientific study after scientific study continued to show this. We can look at a study that came out of the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research back in 2009, showing the effects of taking HMB for just 9 weeks. And after 9 weeks supplementation, they looked at strength and body composition. And this was in well-trained athletes. And they found that HMB had a very profound impact on supporting healthy body mass. And this is definitely something that a well-trained athlete is looking to achieve, but this is something for any of us who are looking to stay active throughout our lives can benefit from. So I want to talk about why HMB may just be the answer to avoiding sarcopenia, because we know that if we have muscle mass loss through the aging process, which certainly occurs, this not only weakens us physically by strength, but it also makes us more vulnerable to infections and to falling and fractures. So this is definitely an area that we don't want to overlook. Now, what HMB actually is, it's a derivative of the amino acid leucine. And leucine, we've often heard about the branch-chained amino acids and how beneficial those are for kind of bolstering up your lean muscle mass. Well, we know that HMB is even stronger than those traditional branch-chained amino acids, which is why so much research has gone into this. So when we look at the impact of muscle mass loss and how that can affect us through the aging process, we want to be able to preserve that. And this is where HMB, this natural bioactive product of the amino acid leucine, can really help to support and maintain that balance between where muscles break down and where muscles break up. So hence known as catabolism, that's the breakdown, or the anabolism, which is the build up. And HMB levels decline as we age. So we think about things that are naturally occurring in the body. HMB happens to be one of those. So if this level starts to drop, this is going to have an impact on our lean muscle mass as well as our strength. So we don't want this to happen. We want to be able to fend off sarcopenia. We want to make sure that we are boosting up our lean body mass, especially if we are staying physically active and we're exercising. And for many of the studies, they found that taking 1 gram of HMB was really a nice sweet spot for maintaining that muscle mass. Now, what's really great is our formulation has 1.5 grams. So the studies, for the most part, looked at 1 gram per day. Our formulation has 1.5. So what we're trying to do is have this consistency in terms of maintaining our lean body mass and also having better body fat distribution. So all of these things are certainly things that we would want to be looking at as we get older. And this is going to be in combination with taking our other key nutrients, our omega-3 fatty acids, our vitamin D, which we know does so much when it comes to supporting the strength of our muscles. Sometimes we just think of vitamin D when it comes to the immune system, but we know it's doing much more than that. So I want to talk about a study that came out and was published in the Journal of Human Kinetics, looking at the effect of hydroxybeta-methylbutyrate, hence HMB, and how this would have an impact on different types of physical performance. And they said that this particular supplement has been used by athletes and physically active people for a very long time, and it's coming from that branched-chain amino acid leucine, and how this can play multiple roles in the human body. Most importantly is looking at that protein metabolism. And so when we think about muscles, we're thinking about protein, which is why so many people will utilize things like whey protein isolate, for example. So HMB supplementation has really shown to have this positive effect on aerobic capacity when we're looking at exercise and being able to support and maintain the physicalness of the muscles themselves. So we can get into the heavy detailed science of this, but we could get lost real fast in all of the different terminology. But one of the things that we know in terms of the mechanism by how HMB is actually working is through these intracellular proteolytic pathways, and finding that HMB in the body is primarily utilized to increase the integrity of the myocyte cell membrane. So when we think about the myocytes, those are your muscle cells. And so we now see a mechanism through which HMB can have this positive effect on that muscle protein anabolism, that building up of those muscles. So understanding all of these things and seeing that the mechanisms by how it is that HMB is actually working, we now can recognize that it's also associated with cholesterol biosynthesis. So when we think about the HMG-CoA reductase pathway, that are things like vitamin E target and red yeast rice target, we also can see that HMB is targeting this as well. So when we think about a particular supplement for a specified thing, so Active HX for staying active, maintaining our muscle mass, maintaining healthy, lean body fat, we're also seeing that it's providing this benefit when it comes to optimizing our cholesterol as well, which is why for so many scientists, the initial research into just highly trained athletes was one thing, but now that they're seeing all of these positive effects of HMB across the board, they are really starting to look at this as kind of an anti-aging supplement. And it certainly makes a lot of sense when we understand just how it is that HMB is actually working. So much science and research out there really showing how it is that HMB can allow for this muscle building capacity. At the same time, we can also recognize that HMB is doing so much to maintain a healthy fat distribution in the body and help to maintain healthy cholesterol all at the same time. So it's coming from leucine. It is a powerful constituent of that amino acid. And I certainly encourage you to check it out on our website. It is called Active HX, and it contains that beta-hydroxymethylbutyrate, HMB. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Invite Health podcast. Remember, you can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts, or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Now, do make sure that you subscribe and you leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we will see you next time for another episode of the Invite Health podcast.